So last night I went down a major black rabbit hole about children in DHS custody. And I wanted to kind of clarify some of the information that I was able to find today. I didn't sleep much last night. So one thing to keep in mind, whether a child is a U.S. citizen or not, the child will not be taken into custody unless there is no caregiver available for them. So if a child is brought into the United States and does not, for example, have birthright citizenship, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are automatically deported. When a parent is arrested or detained, that parent is supposed to be provided the opportunity to name a caregiver. And if they're able to do that, then that child is released to that caregiver as opposed to being taken into custody. So what should be happening right now is that if there is no caregiver available to take that child on behalf of that parent, then the Department of Homeland Security and ICE should be contacting Child Protective Services, which is administered through the state. And at no time should that child be taken into actual ICE custody. Child Protective Services should be taking that child and finding them a safe place. Okay, so I think the bigger concern that the majority of us have at this point in time is that ICE has been seen at daycares and on school campuses. I've also read that there was perhaps a van that was stopped that included children, which is incredibly concerning, obviously, which is one of the reasons why you're seeing parents kind of form a perimeter around some of these schools at the beginning of this. And then in addition to that, now you see schools that are kind of moving to homeschooling. So prior to January 2025, there was something in place called Bright Line Protections, and that basically restricted ICE from being able to go on site to churches or to schools, to courts, to shelters. And in January 2025 of last year, that was rescinded for obvious reasons we can see now, specifically because you know that they've been apprehending people outside of immigration court. And we also know that they have been going into hospitals and they've been going into churches and they've been going to schools, or at least trying to go into schools. So one of the key takeaways from this, you know, I don't have children, but I am obviously incredibly concerned about children for a number of reasons, probably some childhood trauma. But I think one of the things as a parent that I would be doing is I would be having those conversations now with school boards, with your schools, and with parent organizations before this happens elsewhere. We know that Minnesota is being used as kind of a testing and training ground. They're supposed to be going to Maine next and potentially to Philadelphia. So if I were a parent, I would be asking those tough questions now. Anyway, I hope this information helped. I mean, I still feel terrible. I'm still very concerned. And I hope that what they're supposed to be doing is actually happening with regard to children, because I can't even fucking imagine.